Good evening and welcome to our induction ceremony in honor of the 2024 classes of the Healing Hands Guild and the Profiles of Compassion Society. My name is Father Stephen Roth, and it's a great joy and privilege to welcome you here tonight as we honor Dr. Marc Beck and a fantastic nurse, Stacie Sabatino. It really is a great privilege and honor for me as a priest to stand before you tonight, because who and what we celebrate is very much the embodiment of an answer that I've often used as a priest to a question that I've heard many times. And the question has been, Father, why did God stop performing miracles? My answer has always been that it's not that God has stopped performing these miracles, it's just we've stopped looking for them. And tonight, as we reflect on the incredible work of our current award recipients and also the wonderful doctors and nurses of past awards, we see in their collaborative efforts certainly a miracle. But just like in the days of Jesus, notice what a miracle does. It doesn't simply transform the moment, although it does. It brings healing to the individual person, but it transforms their lives. As we look to sacred scripture, it was those people who were healed that became the best evangelizers, the best advocates for Jesus' ministry. And so true it is that those patients who have been treated by this doctor and nurse here tonight, not only have they been healed, but I would argue have experienced a transformation in their own lives. It is because of the healing that they have experienced in the care that they now have a newfound understanding, yes, of faith, but also of goodness, of love, of mercy, and above all, hope. And so I guess it's a long way of saying this, that today, yes, we honor a doctor and a nurse, but I think that those are just fancy titles for saying who and what you truly are, miracle workers. May God continue to bless you for all that you have done and continue to do, and may God continue to bless this hospital, that all people may continue to look to St. Joe's as a place where miracles truly continue to happen. It is now my privilege to introduce the President and CEO of this hospital, Dr. Tom Smythe.
Well, good evening, everyone. I think we're going to have a little bit of a rowdy bunch here, aren't we? Which I'm super excited about, having lived 25 years in this operating room and being blessed to serve with so many of you in the operating room. I do have a great appreciation for the amazing collegiality that goes on the ground floor. So good evening and welcome to the University of Maryland St. Joseph Medical Center. This is a wonderful event that celebrates our physicians and nurses. I thank all of you for coming together this evening as we honor a family member, a friend, or a colleague whom we are blessed to have in our St. Joe family. Before we start our formal remarks tonight about these amazing caregivers, I'd like to have us observe a moment of silence. This past year, we lost two members of our Healing Hands Guild, Charles Hatton and Benjamin Del Carmen. Dr. Hatton was inducted into the esteemed inaugural class of the Healing Hands Guild in 2013. Dr. Hatton, Chuck, as many of us knew him, entered the Guild as a retired internist and is remembered for his warm bedside manner and his commitment to ensuring each and every patient experienced his full, undivided attention at every visit. Dr. Del Carmen, Ben, as I knew him and as so many of you knew him, joined the Guild as a beloved retired general surgeon and a former president of the medical staff. He dedicated his entire career to St. Joe's and to helping others. In fact, Dr. Del Carmen, as a young resident in 1965, actually helped move supplies from the original St. Joe on Caroline Street to its current location here in Towson. Pretty amazing. Even after retirement, he continued to serve others through several mission trips to the Philippines, performing life-saving and life-altering surgeries on patients at provincial hospitals who otherwise would not have had access to health care. We thank God for the lives of Charles Hatton and Benjamin Del Carmen and rejoice that they are now in God's loving embrace. Let us bow our heads in a moment of silence as we reflect on the amazing lives of these two men. Thank you. Each patient who comes to us has unique and individual needs, and as a result requires unique and individualized care. It is our purpose, our calling, to ensure that every one of our patients is in safe and loving hands. Because of this unwavering commitment to patient safety and continuous quality improvement, we have once again received national recognition. Earlier this year, St. Joseph was a recipient of HealthGrade's 2024 Patient Safety Excellence Award. This award recognizes hospitals throughout the nation that have the lowest occurrences of 14 key preventable patient safety events. We have also been recognized by HealthGrades as one of America's 50 best hospitals for spine surgery, outpatient joint surgery, and cardiac surgery. These awards stem from our focused effort to drive clinical and operational excellence and optimal teamwork in every facet of our organization. Earlier this month, we were again recognized, this time for the 10th time, by the Leapfrog Group with an A grade for patient safety. And last but not least, again, earlier this month, we earned 5 out of 5 stars from the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services. This is the 6th consecutive year that St. Joseph has received CMS's highest rating, making us the only CMS 5-star and Leapfrog Grade A hospital in the state of Maryland. This national recognition underscores our relentless commitment to providing the highest quality and patient experience in the safest of environments. Not an easy task. It takes an incredibly dedicated team to achieve these distinctions, which is why I find that the Healing Hands Guild and the Profiles of Compassion Society and those members and this program are so important to this hospital. In order to be inducted into the Guild or into the society, you must first be nominated by a team member, a patient, or a visitor of the hospital. The caliber of our teams at St. Joe's are second to none, so this is a big, big honor and an outward recognition. Although really tremendous, there's no better feeling than being recognized by one of your peers, by all of your peers, those who understand firsthand what you navigate every single day. It was no coincidence that we were recognized by HealthGrades for our spine and orthopedic surgery programs, because these two colleagues that we're honoring this evening both work closely in those worlds. Tonight we honor Dr. Marc Beck. A proud St. Joe's anesthesiologist, Dr. Beck quoted Buddha in his profile, quote, "A generous heart, kind speech, and a life of service and compassion are the things which renew humanity," unquote. Reading this brings a smile to my face with the many hours we certainly spend in the operating room together, Mark. But I think anyone who has been blessed with the opportunity to interact with you would agree that you have a generous heart, kind speech, and a lifelong commitment to service and compassion. To quote one of the Healing Hands nominations of Mark, quote, "Dr. Beck never wavered in his commitment to excellent patient care and his reputation as Dr. Congeniality." I never knew that, Mark. Always pleasant to patients and staff, Mark exemplifies all that St. Joe's stands for, unquote. Tonight we also celebrate one of our beloved nurses, Stacie Sabatino. As an operating room team leader, Stacie reflected on her career, noting, quote, "The most fulfilling thing about being a nurse is making a difference in a patient's life," unquote. I'd like to expand on that, Stacie. I dare say that nearly equal for all of us in making a difference for a patient would be making a difference for a colleague, a team member, a friend. Those who nominated Stacie would agree, quote, "She's an outstanding nurse and has a positive impact on our team. She's a hard worker who goes above and beyond for all. Stacie has personally taught me so much and has encouraged me in advancing within the department. My hope is that she feels the appreciation all of us have for her," unquote. Tonight, I hope that you both can feel the appreciation and the St. Joe's spirit in this chapel. On behalf of our operating and foundation boards, our staff, but most importantly, our patients for whom you so lovingly care, I'd like to offer my heartiest congratulations and deepest thanks to both of you. Congratulations. And now, Dr. Cunningham, I'd like to invite you to the podium while I find yours. There we go. There you go. I'll find it for you. So please welcome Dr. Gail Cunningham, who all of you know, Senior Vice President for Medical Affairs and Chief Medical Officer. Dr. Cunningham.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before I begin, Father, that was a beautiful opening reflection. I didn't bring my Kleenex, although I just found some, so I'm good. But that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. So thanks, Tom. Beautiful opening remarks. Good evening. I'd like to add my welcome. It's such a pleasure to see so many friends and family members here to show their love and support for this year's amazing honorees. I believe I can speak for everyone here tonight when I say we cannot do our work in a vacuum. It's the love and encouragement of those who know us best, our friends and our family, that allow us to succeed and do the work that we do at St. Joe's. So to all of the family members and friends who are here to support, thank you very much. A career in medicine is not for the faint of heart. It is a profession defined by long hours and hard work, but we're tremendously blessed that we get to do that work together. Medicine may be hard, but it's not lonely. Dr. Spice speaks to us often about our true north, making it a clear focus on our patients, our colleagues, and our community. And we depend on each other as we do that work. Our patients depend on us to care for them, especially when they're most fragile. We depend on our colleagues to help us, whether it be a tricky diagnosis or a case that goes bad, or just physically lifting somebody and moving them. The community counts on us to keep our neighbors healthy, ensuring a vibrant quality of life. And we look to our families to support us in our work. We all have to take care of each other. Medicine is not a profession for the person who thinks that he or she can go it alone. There's a quote I love which says, "We're all here to walk each other home." I think being a nurse or physician allows us to know the wisdom in these words, and I believe this knowledge is a great privilege. We can't take for granted the blessings we enjoy as caregivers. And I just want to pause. This was a lot about team and team members. Stacie, I didn't have the opportunity to work with you elbow to elbow, but over the many years that you and I have both been here, I have heard your name over and over again in such a positive way. You're truly an extremely valued team member. And Marc, I have had the opportunity to work with you elbow to elbow, and you are congenial, unlike some of your colleagues. I could call you at any time from the emergency department, and you'd be, yep, I'm Marc, I'm here to help, how can I help? And it's just been a real pleasure to be one of your teammates, and I thank you for all you've done for St. Joe's. So, I congratulate both of you for nearly 3 decades of hard work culminating in these outstanding honors tonight. And now I have the privilege of introducing Nicole Beeson, my dyad partner, our Senior Vice President of Patient Care Services, and our Chief Nursing Officer. Nicole.
Thank you, Gail. Welcome, everyone, for this really special event. This is certainly a special night for this organization, for all of you, and especially it's really special for this entire team, and it's I will say, my favorite event of this entire year. So, surrounded by our families, our friends, our colleagues, we're all brought together here this evening in the spirit of what makes this hospital so special. Tom alluded to the awards, but the essence sits here in this evening in the spirit of all of you. And so it is the people that make this place so special and so great. It is in the essence of every single thing that we do. Our newest Healing Hands Guilds and the Profiles of Compassion Society members, Dr. Beck and Stacie, remind us that absolutely anything is possible when great people come together in a worthy purpose, working towards one common goal. Every day, we care for one another, we care for our patients and our community, and we are learning from one another. We talk to each other, we shine a light and learn from our opportunities. We also learn how we can improve the care for our patients with every single touch and every single interaction. And at St. Joe's, I believe we have this really unique opportunity here to have the best of, we would rival academic medical settings, certainly. And we're also living every day this mindful rule of do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And surely that, we know, is the best medicine of all. And so I'd like to just pause and say, on behalf of nursing at St. Joseph, I'd like to thank you and congratulate both of you on this really distinguished honor, but also your phenomenal reputation and your life's work here at St. Joe's. It's clear that you both have lived this golden rule and that we are better because of it. Our patients are better because of you. And so now I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Glenn Hessinger, an anesthesiologist and member of the Healing Hands Guild of 2014, who will induct Dr. Beck into the Healing Hands Guild.
Thanks, Nicole. I think Dr. Smythe's speechwriter was snooping around my office. He stole a lot of my thunder, but I will press on. Thank you all for coming tonight. It's great to see you all. These are two obviously very, very popular people in our operating room. I came here July 1st, 1997. Dr. Beck was already a senior member and well-respected Department of Anesthesia, and Stacie started around the same time, maybe a month or two later. So I've known them my entire career since residency, and it's very heartwarming for me to see both of them being inducted on the same night. They're just so deserving, such wonderful human beings, and it's really a great night for our operating room. So like I said, I've been here for 27 years, and you don't get into this guild just by skill alone. Well, I guess some of us do, but you know, so obviously Dr. Beck has the requisite skills. You know, he really stands out to me among the crowd in my 27 years here across the entire institution as really being one of the most beloved people that has ever walked these halls. And, you know, it's a strong statement, but it's very true. And so in preparing for this, I reflected on why would that really be the case? What is it that makes him so beloved? So I jotted down a few sort of attributes that really hit home for me. Number one is his empathy. He, you know, whether it's patients or families or work colleagues, empathy is always at the forefront of his thoughts. He doesn't have to force it. He doesn't have to think about it. It's just something that oozes from him. He always cares about all of us among us who, you know, what's going on in their lives, what they're feeling, how he can help them feel better and make their lives better. Second thing is his humility. As physicians, we are not exactly raised and trained to be humble people. But, you know, it's never my way or the highway with Dr. Beck. He's always been extremely open-minded and humble and realized that other people may have better ideas about how to manage a case, whether it's a student nurse anesthetist, a nurse anesthetist on staff, one of his other anesthesia colleagues, or even, God forbid, the surgeon that might have ideas about how best to manage a patient. He is always extremely open-minded and willing to work with everybody collectively involved on the team to make sure the patient is getting the best possible care. And this humility really serves him well, both in and outside the operating room. He's respectful of everyone. Everybody that walks the halls here knows his name, and he knows their name. That is not true of everyone by a long shot, and it's because he cares about you. He respects the fact that every single person that works in this institution is driving toward all the goals that Dr. Smythe was talking about in delivering safe patient care. If the person cleaning the instruments doesn't do their job, the patient may have a bad outcome. And so everybody is really of equal importance, and we're trying to deliver care here, and he recognizes that, and he respects everybody and their role here, and they obviously respect him. His selflessness, just Dr. Smythe touched on that. He'll do anything for anybody, and especially as physicians get older and further along in their practice, it's typical for them to sort of step back a little and maybe not want to do labor and delivery, not want to do peds, whatever it is. To Dr. Beck's credit, he has never gone that route. He has always just asked me, what is it that I can do to make your life easier? How can I help? I never have to beg him or twist his arm to do anything, and he's that way with everyone, not just his boss. One important trait that's really hit home over the last 2 years is his loyalty. We had some unfortunate sets of circumstances in our department here over the last year or two where we had a lot of attrition. There were a lot of things that went into that, but suffice it to say the path of least resistance for him would not have been to stick around and work with a skeleton crew to help rebuild a fantastic department. He could have definitely gone elsewhere and worked less and made more, and to his credit, he remained loyal to his community, to his patients, to his work colleagues and the entire institution, and really single-handedly has helped stabilize and now rebuild our department into one that I am extremely proud of and is truly as great as it's ever been. We have a fantastic, unbelievable staff of nurse anesthetists and anesthesiologists right now that are just doing great work, and I couldn't be more grateful for his loyalty to his chief in that regard. Overall, we're just talking about an incredibly kind human being. I mean, compassionate service and loving service and compassionate care is not just a tagline for him. Apparently for me, but he lives and breathes it every day. And so it's my privilege and my honor to bring up 2024 Healing Hands inductee and my great friend, Dr. Marc Beck.
Okay. What a long, strange trip it's been. Thank you for this most high honor. This has been the culmination of my career at St. Joe's, but I realize that the journey itself is the prize. I arrived at St. Joe's in April of 1988. Dr. Richard Meshulam and I trained together in New York at Mount Sinai. As an aside, many years later, while studying my family tree, I found one of my ancestors wrote a eulogy to a Rabbi Meshulam in the 1500s in Amsterdam. So you could say we go way back. After residency, Richard came here as Dr. Shep Kaplow was building the department. Dr. Kaplow's vision of our department still carries on to this very day. Over the years, we assembled the best anesthesia group in Maryland, to quote one of our partners, Tim Robinson, may he rest in peace. I also want to mention that we remember Sam Hong, who we also lost not long ago. Like the all-star team that we were and are, we built this department with the finest providers over the decades. Our guiding principles were kindness, respect, trust, compassion, empathy, and a strong sense of duty and sacrifice. One of my nicknames, if you know, is the glue. Well, it's easy to be the glue with such a fine group of providers. I have to acknowledge my parents and their parents. Our families left Europe many years ago in search of a better life in America. The sacrifices they made are not forgotten. My parents taught me the value of lifelong education, devotion to family, and something greater than ourselves. They live on through me and my sister Leslie, as well as my children. I know they would be very proud today. I am so proud of my children and how successful they are. My daughter is a CRNA, and I have been trying to get her here to join us at St. Joe's. My son is a chip off the old block and not only has a successful career as a lead application developer at UPS, but he also finds time to study several martial arts and Japanese, as well as building cars. My son-in-law, Matt, and my daughter-in-law, Jennifer, are also very successful and are essentially my own at this point. My other child is my nephew, Jordan, my sister's son, who works in healthcare as an ultrasound tech. And let's not forget my 3 huskies, who are responsible for all the hair that we have in our home. I am truly blessed by my family. I also want to acknowledge the greater staff at St. Joe's. I have been here a long time and am still amazed at the level of quality throughout the institution. I am proud to have worked with the previous generations of surgeons here and fondly remember working with Dr. Walter Smythe, who brought his young son Tom around when he just started at St. Joe's. I also have the pleasure of taking care of multiple generations of nurses in OB. I remember early on in my career taking care of one of the nurses when she delivered her daughter. Then, a few years ago, that baby girl became a mom, and I took care of her too. It's truly an honor to take care of families like that. I have been at St. Joe's for 36 years, and it is still such a rewarding place. Seeing all the young providers grow has been an amazing source of pride for me. My younger colleagues teach me daily. As we embark on the care team approach, we have been blessed with a new, excellent group of CRNAs who impress me regularly. They all add value to our department. We are just a link in the chain of life. We must respect the past and those who came before us and be aware that we are custodians for the future. Between our sacrifices and the sacrifices of our families supporting us, in our pursuit of this noble profession, may we embrace our role in making the world a better place, one patient at a time. May your journey be as prized as mine has been. I could not have done it without all of you. So I'll close with this. So if you have a rough day or a bad night, just remember, go back home, pat your bones, and get back trucking on.
Good evening. My name is Beth Nash. I'm the newest member of the Surgical Services Leadership Team. Very proud to be here tonight and very honored to induct Stacie into the Profiles of Compassion. I wanted to tell you a little story and sort of a reflection of how I came to know Stacie. I always knew there were people down the hall from where I was in the ED. I didn't know anything about it. I knew there was a red line, and you didn't go past that door if you weren't in scrubs. But what I didn't know was the heart of the people that worked there and how giving and courageous they truly were until about March of 2020, I'm sorry. Have you ever met someone but didn't realize the impact they would have on you at that particular time, but then later realized how impactful they were? This was my experience with Stacie. So it was March 2020. Things were looking grim, not to take anybody back into a dark time, but it was a dark time, and especially for the ED staff and the frontline staff who were very fearful, very scared, not sure what was going to happen, and the OR shut down. And there was then a plethora of staff who could have stayed home, but they chose to come and support, which is what St. Joe's is all about. And so several nurses came to the ED and said, I will come, I will help, I want to help. This is during a time when some of the ED nurses said, I want out. I don't want to do this. I need to worry about my family first, and so we were losing staff. And so this is when I first met Stacie. I did not realize that there was such a significant difference in our professions as an OR nurse and an ED nurse. I had no idea of what the skill set, the differences were between the two of us. And so I thought, the nurses are here, I'll let them give meds and take vitals and do assessments. Little did I know, that was not at all what they were doing in the OR. So I did not have the best idea of what success would look like introducing these new nurses into my space. And I remember a particular day, Stacie pulled me aside in the B zone and said, Beth, listen, I gotta tell you, I don't give meds. I don't take vitals. I haven't given a Tylenol since 20 years ago. I don't know what to do here. And it was in that moment that I realized, holy crap, what have I done? I have these people in my space that's not necessarily a safe space, and they are not doing what we do every day. We take for granted that there's a whole world of people among us in this organization, and that each person brings a very special gift, but they're all different. And so in that moment, I realized, Stacie, I appreciated your honesty. I appreciated you being very forthcoming with me, because I needed to hear it as much as you needed to say it. And so that during that time, she showed up every day. Several other staff members, I have to give a shout out to Tori because she really was there with us too, but several said, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to wear all the PPE. I don't want to do these things. But Stacie stayed every single day. She showed up with her bright eyes and her warm smile, and she rallied the team. She didn't do it for accolades, and probably up until today, she was never formally thanked for it. She came because she wanted to serve the patients, because that's what she does. And so fast forwarding to February of 2023, when I came to surgical services, there was Stacie. She greeted me warmly, she made me feel welcome, and I realized on the first or second day, yep, there's the red line. I have no idea what I'm doing here. She made me feel safe. She made me also realize that the same level of fear and anxiety I was having in a whole new place was exactly what she was going through 2 years prior, and I had no idea. This speaks to her level of integrity. This speaks to her level of compassion and grit. And when I say grit, I talk about people who just do the right thing all the time, no matter what the consequence is. They do it for the betterment of other people, and that very much speaks about Stacie. I feel like in the moments of joining the surgical services team, there were other times when I saw this same level of compassion. We were, shortly after I came, Larry took us out for just a little social gathering to get to know each other. And shortly after we started to order some drinks and dinner, Stacie had a phone call. And it was a vendor saying they didn't have a tray for a case the next day. And she stayed on that phone probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, to make sure that that patient had what they needed for that case, that surgeon had what they needed for the case, all for a patient she would never meet, she would never be thanked by, she would never even get to maybe see the patient. She did it anyway because she knew in canceling that case that the patient would be at a higher level of anxiety, they wouldn't get their much needed surgery. She did it for the right reasons. People always say integrity is what you do when others aren't watching. That pretty much sums up Stacie. She's one of those people that you can count on 100% of the time to do the right thing, even when others aren't watching. So I just wanted to say that when you talk about the members of the Profiles of Compassion, there are an amazing amount of people on the wall, and there are journeys like Dr. Beck spoke about, and some of us know nothing about them. But for you, Stacie, just know how much you impact people that you never meet, people that you never know you impacted, such as me, and know that we appreciate what you've done. We appreciate the service that you've given to this organization, to everyone in the operating room who have come out here today. It's really amazing to see this team together. And you are very much the leader in that group. They look to you for your professionalism, for your care, and I feel like you treat your colleagues the same way you treat your patients. So thank you so much for your service, and a very warm congratulations to the Profiles of Compassion.
First and foremost, I'd like to express my gratitude to the Foundation and to all of you for being here tonight. I'm truly honored to be nominated for this award and to be standing here. I never would have imagined that my photograph would be hanging on the wall next to some of the most iconic nurses here at St. Joe's. For the past 27 years, St. Joe's Medical Center has served as my second home, and there's no other place I'd rather be working. When asked why I stayed here after the pandemic, when there was a chance to make more money elsewhere, my answer was simply because this is where I feel I belong. It's because of the culture here. It's because this hospital is among Baltimore's best, even Maryland's best. It's because I get to collaborate with superior providers. It's because of this hospital's stellar reputation. It's because I get to work alongside with Dr. Beck. And most importantly, it's because of the free parking. I would like to thank those who nominated me and awarded me this accolade. I would also like to thank all those who have been part of my journey, especially my family and colleagues. My family, my husband Tom, and my sons Nick and Zach deserve gratitude for constantly pushing me to do better and to be better. I would like to extend my gratitude to all my mentors over the years, because without them, I wouldn't be the nurse I am today. So thank you, Maria Giacchini, Debbie Fleming, and Karen Haggy. Sorry. Thank you to my fellow leadership team for all their support, because without them, I wouldn't persevere. So thank you, Tori Deers, Jillian Topper, Bob Linder, Jessica Smith, Shannon Zrakowitz, and Carly. I want to thank the Spine team for being so awesome and making my job seem so simple. This team was instrumental in making St. Joe's Medical Center the #1 hospital in Maryland for spine surgery. So thank you, Jane Gill, Carl Galiza, Magdalena Zartman, Lauren Quadro, and Nicholas Peltz. Lastly, I want to thank Raul Sapota and Larry Moore for believing in me. I hope I can continue to inspire nurses to show compassion and take that extra moment with their patients. This recognition will forever leave an impression on me throughout my career. I will do my best to continue to make a difference. Thank you again for this truly wonderful honor.
we have a couple beautiful pins up here that I think we forgot to place on Dr. Beck and Stacie Sabatino. So, Stacie, please. So this has been an incredibly inspiring evening, needless to say, and I think it's humorous that the speechwriter for this particular crowd said, "I would like to ask that you all follow behind our honorees in an orderly fashion out to the spiritual care lobby, where we will go ahead to the Healing Hands Guild area first to unveil Dr. Beck's Healing Hands, and then over to the Profiles of Compassion Cove, where we will unveil Stacie's beautiful photo, and then we will open the bars after that and enjoy some good time together. So thanks everybody for coming.